Alrighty, welcome everybody. This video is a summary of the Oval Office analysis activity that we've been working on class, created by Mr. Ivner. Purpose of this is to either help you get caught up if you missed class, or to continue to work through the packet. Okay, so just a quick recap. This is talking about the inauguration age and age of death of our 45 presidents. You see in the table here, it's got each of our presidents when they were born, the year they were inaugurated, and tells us what age that happened at. It also has the date of their death and what age that happened at. Last week, we looked at the different representations for this last column of age, and today we're going to be looking at the age of presidents at inauguration. Okay, let's get started with this. All right, I've already completed the line plot. Mine's actually a dot plot for you. Take a moment to compare yours to mine and make sure that you have the same number of dots over the same ages. At this point, I usually like to check to make sure I have all of the dots by counting them up. And in counting all of them, I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45 presidents. Number of presidents is 45. That's important that you continue to check that you actually have 45 data points throughout these representations as you continue through this packet. Okay, so that's our frequency, or that's our dot plot, line plot. Make sure that yours looks similar to mine, and we're going to move on to number 2. Instructions for number 2, it says, using your line plot above, construct a grouped frequency table of presidential ages at inauguration. Okay, so remember this is a frequency table, so we're going to use tallies. And what I would recommend is simply counting up how many dots are in each decade, and then writing down that many tallies. Okay, so in the 40s, 40 to 49, we count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 presidents that were inaugurated when they were in the 40s. As tally marks, that would look like this. Remember to put the cross tally through groups of 5. Our frequency should be 9 over here. Okay. For presidents inaugurated in their 50s, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 presidents who were inaugurated in their 20s. Put that right there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20. And there's 25 presidents. Okay, moving right along. In the 60s, presidents inaugurated when they were between 60 and 70 years old. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in the 70s, only one president. Let's put a 25 over here a 10 over here for the 60s. Only one president inaugurated in their 70s. So we'll put a 1 right there. And that's what your frequency table should look like. Now, just another way to check, make sure you actually got all of the dots. We know there's 45 presidents represented. If we add up our entire frequency table, 9 plus 25 plus 10 plus 1, should in fact give us 45. So we're all good there. We have a complete frequency table. All right, let's move on to number 3. It says using your displays to complete the table. Number of presidents surveyed. We already know that. That should be 45. Okay. Our minimum value, if we go back up to our line plot or dot plot, we're looking for the smallest value that's represented on the table or on our plot, and that should be that 42 there. Okay, we'll put that in our table down here, 42. Now we can go up and look at the maximum. Maximum should be our biggest value. That should be that 70 right there. I'll go back down in here and write that as our maximum. Range, you take your maximum value and you subtract your minimum value from it, and that gives you the spread of your data. In this case, that should be 70 minus 42. And when you subtract those, you should get 28. So the distance from the youngest president to the oldest president at inauguration is 28. Now for mode, if we go back up to our frequency table, there are 2 modes, and that's okay. You can have multiple modes, simply the ones that are the most common. In this case, we have a mode at 51. And we also have a mode at 54. Okay, put that in our table at the bottom. Mode 51 and 54. Okay, median, onto median. I'm going to show you a little bit of a shortcut for how to do median, but I want you to remember, if you don't remember how to find median, you should just list out all of your data points. So in this case, it would be a list of 45 data points. All right, here's a kind of a shortcut for median. We have 45 total presidents. Since that is an odd number, 45 is an odd number, that means we know one value will be used for the median, and then the rest of the values will be used for the left side of the median and the right side of the median. If one value is used for the median, then that leaves 22 on one side and 22 on the other side of it. Okay? This number right here is getting a little bit fancy, but this is our 23rd value. There's 22 before it, and then 1 for itself. That would make it the 23rd value. So starting from left to right, we're going to count up until we find our 23rd dot. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. And our 23rd value is in our 55 years old at inauguration column. We go down here. We're going to put 55 in for median. Okay. Distribution shape. This distribution doesn't have a very clear shape in my opinion. However, if we draw a rough curve over it, I think we can agree that it's neither skewed left nor skewed right, and instead it seems pretty symmetric to me. So write in symmetric. Pretty symmetric to me. Okay, that's everything for that first page. Let's move on to the second page. Okay, for A, construct a stem and leaf plot to show the frequency of presidents' ages at inauguration. Okay, we're going to move back and forth now between the first page and the second page, and we're going to fill out the stem and leaf chart. Okay, if we go, we're going to go by decades here. So if we look at the 40s, and we look back at our dot plot here, you should see that we have a president that is 42, 43, 46, 46, 47, 47, 48, 49, 49 in their 40s. Going back to our stem and leaf plot, we're going to put in those 9 presidents, and it should look like this. 2, 3, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 9, 9. Okay? Just a reminder about stem and leaf plots, you don't need to put commas in it, just the number is sufficient. And in case you're wondering what the key is on this one, the number on the left is the tens place, the number on the right is the ones place, and that, in this case, would that equal 42. Okay, let's look at the 50s, and we should have 25 values here for the 50s. We have a 50, and we have 5 51s, 2 52s, 5 54s, 4 55s, 3 56s, 4 57s, 1 58, and that's it. We'll fill that in on our stem and leaf plot. Should have a 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. That's our mode, those 51s. 2 and 2. 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. That's another one of our modes, 54. Should look like that. Going back for the 60s, should have 160, 3 61s, a 62, 2 64s, 165, a 68, and a 69. Okay, going back to our stem and leaf plot. 0 for that 60, 1, 1, 1, 2, 4, 4, 5, 8, and 9. And then for the 70s, we only have one president there, 70 years old, so we just put a 0. Okay? 4B, use the grouped frequency table above to construct a histogram to show the frequency of presidents' ages at inauguration. All right? A histogram is very similar to a bar graph. However, there's a couple main differences. A histogram can only be used with numerical data, and our numerical data is, in fact, presidents' ages. Those are all numbers, so we have numerical data. So histogram can only be used with numerical data. It also doesn't have any spaces in between the bars. And the x-axis, which is down here, the x-axis, is made up of intervals of data. Okay? And in this case, our intervals are every 10 years, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 to 69, 70 to 79. Okay, that's 4 intervals, so let's break up our x-axis into 4 even pieces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 boxes. 20 divided by 4 gives us bars that are going to be 5 wide. Okay, this first bar at the bottom is going to represent presidents who are 40 to 49 years old. The next one's going to represent presidents who are 50 to 59 years old. The next one's going to represent presidents who are 60 to 69 years old. And the last one will be presidents 70 to 79 years old. It is extremely important in your histograms that your intervals are all identical in size. So if this first bar has 10 values represented in it, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, then your second one and your third one and your fourth one all better have the same amount of values represented. In this case, they do. Okay? Let's look back at our stem and leaf plot. There were 9 presidents. I'm going to write a little 9 right here. 9 presidents who were inaugurated when they were in their 40s. So going to this histogram, we're going to make a bar that is 9 tall. Should look like that. We'll go in color in just a moment. There are 25 presidents who were inaugurated when they were in their 50s. That's going to take us all the way up to the top here. Okay. There are 10 presidents who were inaugurated in their 60s. And then we know there's one president inaugurated in their 70s. Okay? And that is what your histogram should look like. I'll get that centered on the screen for you. Should look just like that. Okay? Let's move on to third page. Sorry. 5A, construct a second stem and leaf plot to show the frequency of presidents' ages at inauguration. Now yours says a little bit more than mine, and it has these asterisks in them. I'm just going to do kind of a blob there next to them. Okay, so this is a slightly modified stem and leaf plot, and the way it works is for this first number, it's going to represent all the values that have a ones digit 0 through 4. And for the second value, it's going to represent all the ones that have a ones value of 5 to 9. And then it's going to repeat throughout the table. A little bit different than a normal stem and leaf plot, but just as useful. Okay? So, in that first row for the 4s, we're actually only going to have 2 values. There was a president who was 42 at inauguration and a president that was 43. Okay? For the second row of 4s, we're going to look at presidents who were 45 to 49. There was a president who was 46, another one who was 46, 2 that were 47, 1 that was 48, and 2 that were 49. Okay? Now we're looking at presidents who were inaugurated in their 50s, but only 50 to 54. That should be 50, 5 51s, 2 52s, and 5 54s. Okay? Presidents who were inaugurated between 55 and 59 should be 5 presidents that were 55, 3 presidents that were 56, 4 presidents that were 57, and 1 president that was 58. Okay, in the 60s, 60, 61, 62, sorry, 61 again, 61 again, and then a 62, and 2 64s, and then in the second row for 60s we should have a 5, an 8, and a 9. Okay, and then in the 70s we just have that 70-year-old. Okay, just one number there. Okay, now we're going to look at our histogram number 2. Okay, instead of having 4 sections like we did before, now we're going to have 7 sections, 7 bars. And so let's count up how many boxes we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now that's not quite enough for 3 of each. So we're going to do bins of 2. I'll erase that for right now. Okay, and each bin is going to represent a chunk of 5 years. So this first bin, and I'm going to write it going down 40 to 44. This one's 45 to 49. This one would be 50 to 54. This one would be 55 to 59. This one would be 60 to 64, 65 to 69, and the very last one, 70 to 74. Okay, we should have 7 bins there to get rid of that last line. Okay, in the 40 to 44 category, we have 2 presidents. 2 presidents should look just like that. In the next category, 45 to 49, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and maybe I'll write it in green here. This one had 2, this one had 7. So in our histogram, we're going to go up to 7 for that next bin. Okay. Then we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for 50 to 54. So we'll go up to 13. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 for 55 to 59. Just like that. And from 60 to 64, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go back down here, should have 7. From 65 to 69, we have 3. And we'll just do the 70s right now as well. We have 1 there. So we had 3 for this last one, 1 for the 70s. Okay? That is what your second histogram should look like. And that concludes this video on the Oval Office analysis packet.